it's time to finish this game. I'm so close, but I'm at one of the parts I dread. The fucking forest. I always hate it. I hate both forest parts. That should say a lot about this game and its forest scenes. Let's try going here. I've already forgotten. Let's see. Hello.
Hey! Have you found anything yet?
In this part of the forest? No, we only just got here. Originally, we were two groups, combing the forest north and south of here, but without luck. Maybe we'll have more luck here.
Good luck.
Please talk to my commander. She can help you better than I can.
I haven't ordered a halt, Ryder. What's going on? Why aren't the troops moving?
If we search farther inland, we'll get too far from the town. Andergast would be at the Talamede's mercy with no protection.
But what if they escape us?
Old tracks indicate that they're staying nearby. I think it would be better to hold our position and follow a few select paths, rather than move haphazardly towards the Oakwood.
All right. I'll give you some time. But if we haven't found a new trail by then, we'll do as I say. Until then, this is your responsibility.
Understood.
I want to help with the search. Is there a trail?
Well, the Tulamedes were here until recently, but we don't know in which direction they fled. You should leave everything to us. It's too dangerous here for a peasant.
How do you know if one of the groups has found something?
A messenger runs from group to group with a torch, keeping everyone up to date.
How can I recognize him?
You can't. He's carrying an enchanted scroll that is visible in the dark, but only to mages. That way, we can find him without trouble, but no one else can.
What was that about the messenger again?
He runs from group to group and passes on instructions. He carries an enchanted scroll so we can spot him in the dark.
I'm supposed to pass on an order from the other groups.
Blasted hotheads! Whoever it was who sent you, tell them that nobody gives orders here but me, unless they excel next year as well as Bryda has. But I can only dream of such an outcome.
Is there anything new?
Except that the Tulamedes started their flight here.
Thank you, Melmo.
No.
What was that about the message?
He runs, he carries...
Bryda?
Talk to me if you have something to say, Birdcatcher. Bryda has finally answered my call. She says she's ready to lead our search in my name. I expect her to get back to her usual excellent performance.
I won't disappoint you.
I advise you not to.
I hope you find those monsters.
I'm certain we will.
The bottom is muddy, like the quicksand Giacomo once told me about. I'd better not take any risks. It needs to be tied down on both banks, or it'll be too unsafe to cross. Nothing to be done the normal way. Doesn't look like they found Phi. Good.
Hey, come out of there! You aren't the messenger at all. By the 12, how much longer is this going to take?
You look upset.
Upset? I'm furious. We've been waiting for instructions ever since we got to this bog, but the messenger bearing our orders just won't show up. If you see him, send him here.
Do you think the Tulamedes were here?
No, they most definitely weren't here. Nobody would come here voluntarily, and if they did, then they've long sunk into the bog.
Where can I find the messenger?
How do I know? He's carrying a torch and running from group to group, but he doesn't dare come here.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Getting a weird red flicker. Not sure what's going on there.
You again?
I'm helping with the search.
Right. That's your specialty. Catching vermin. Then let's see what you can do.
Have you found any trace of the Ptolemies?
No. And we won't find any here either. We were already here before the search party, on practice maneuvers. If those rats had crept in the direction of the swamp, we'd have seen them.
Where do I find the messenger?
Maybe he's here, and maybe he isn't. Only one thing's for sure. It's none of your lousy business. Go back to catching your little Tweety birds and leave the rest to the real men.
Fuck you.
Good luck to you.
So yeah, there's a way you can find him by using your little enchanted eyepiece. And you find out that he's like right in the woods somewhere nearby.
Nothing yet again. Nuri should be back by now. Sir Rathling?
Well, if it isn't Garon. I haven't seen you since last winter. If I remember correctly, that was shortly before the seer vanished. How have you been since, you old rascal?
Has your group found any traces of the Ptolemies?
We know that they came past here once, going east to west. Or west to east. We aren't exactly sure. We can't investigate either because we were ordered to hold our position for now. I hate sitting around with nothing to do.
To be honest, I don't know you any other way. Is the messenger here?
He was here. Perhaps he still is. Unlike the mages, I can't see him in the dark.
I'll keep looking then.
Farewell, Garon.
They say the messenger carries an enchanted scroll.
I think I just found him. Yep.
Are you the messenger?
Unfortunately, yes. Right now, I just want to sleep.
What's the deal with the scroll?
It's a magic scroll. The mages can see it gleaming in the dark and then don't attack me.
What's written on it?
Nothing. All that matters is what I have to say. All the orders have to go through me first. That makes me one of the most important people here.
If you're so tired, just let me do this.
I can't. I signed up for this job, and I'll finish it. As long as nothing unexpected gets in the way, I'll manage.
Have you been to the search party in the marshlands?
I'd hope nobody would notice. That's so far off the beaten track, I thought I could skip the marsh until there are new orders.
Well, the group leader is pretty angry.
Yeah. I'm on my way.
Well then, nighty-night. Hey! There are new orders.
Boy, is this man the messenger?
He's carrying the messenger's sign, at least.
That's enough for me. What are the orders?
Your group is supposed to break off the search in this part of the forest and move on.
Along the river? We just came from there. Well, all right. Orders are orders. But I'm not going to abandon this whole section of the forest. You stay here, boy. Shout if you see anything suspicious.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you find them?
No. The forest is just too big. I don't even know where I should start.
On your next round, I want you to fly a very specific route.
Which one?
Start at the rock and then fly over the river. To the campsite, then return here.
All right. See you soon. Garon. Geron! There's a little girl sitting in the branches of a tree.
Where exactly?
There's a boy with a torch standing in front of the tree.
That must be the young mage that the knight left behind.
Should I try to distract him?
Try it.
Nana, here I am.
What? Who's there? Hey, there's somebody here. Come quick.
Hurry up, I'll be gone soon.
Hey, where are you? Just wait. I'll get you.
It worked! He's gone now.
Well done. You can come down. They're gone.
Where's Papa?
That's what I wanted to ask you.
He's at the waterfall.
You really do have a talking raven.
I found Fahi and sent him to the waterfall like you wanted. There are a lot of people between here and there.
I'll try to smuggle the girl through. Maybe Bryda can help me.
Hurry! Those hunters seem to be smarter than you.
Well, the troops have waited long enough. Your strategy cost us time. I'll give you one last chance. What's our next step? You again. Your little visits are starting to annoy me. Get lost.
Wait. Maybe he has something important to tell us.
He's been creeping around you for days. You probably aren't aware that you have assets other than your strategic skills. I don't ever want to see you around my successor again. Do you understand? Out!
Dude won't even listen.
And now back to our problem. Don't disappoint me.
This is my chance. Bryda has to move the troops so the path to the waterfall is clear. But how do I tell her that without him finding out? It's just like I left it 2 days ago. I'll just make a little tear.
You can't be serious. Have you forgotten everything I taught you about the high art of strategy? If I didn't know better, I'd think you were delaying us on purpose.
But what if they really did summon a demon? Demons are chaotic entities. They don't act according to our rules. We need to be prepared for anything.
All right. But be aware that you're walking a very fine line. I gave you the command solely out of my belief in your skills. I can take it away from you just as easily. The future of our kingdom is at stake.
As if this stinking hole ever had a future.
This is your last chance. What's your next order?
I have to give her a sign somehow.
Don't push your luck.
This is the situation. We have no eyes on the northern forest, but we can't move too far from the town and risk leaving it unprotected. I suggest sending out a couple of scouting parties. Andra's group should move out of the region north of the stones and head for the oak wood.
That would create a gap in our position. It would be easier to sneak past us.
But the town would be safe. There's a lot of fear and anger amongst the troops. We shouldn't mindlessly risk our safety.
Fine. I'll give the order, but if I find out that this is a deliberate attempt to confuse us, then may the gods have mercy on you. It would be an act of high treason, and I don't want to see your head under an axe.
Don't worry. It won't come to that.
Made it.
Geron, wait.
I'm sorry I'm causing you so much trouble.
Oh, nonsense. We have a problem. A second search party is supposed to go towards the waterfall. I'm ordered to lead it.
Oh no, that's where Fahi is.
Yes. I'll try to lead them astray, but it won't be easy. Stay calm. I'll take care of the rest. This isn't quite as exciting as the Gorian Desert, but still, I'll see you.
I hope she knows what she's doing.
I must say, Giacomo didn't promise too much. You're a true hero, Garon. I am deeply in your debt.
Don't rejoice too soon. Ryder's search party is still nearby. We have to be careful.
When the night is over, we'll leave Andergast. The weather is much too cold, and the people know nothing about hospitality.
But what about our deal?
The deal is off.
What?
I mean that you no longer have to solve the riddle. You saved my daughter. That's more than I ever asked of you.
Does that mean you'll change Nuri back?
Yes, that is... No, I won't do it. He will.
Oh, no.
Don't worry. He's a friend.
Salam, Garon. I think it's time to stop playing hide-and-seek.
Who are you?
Oh, you've long suspected, haven't you? Once a man, and a magic staff, and now, somehow both. I look terrible, but not half as terrible as the things I've seen.
Why are you here in Andergast? What are you looking for here?
To understand that, you need to know how Sadja's tale ended soon.
Garon is no longer involved in our business, I'm afraid.
Really? Pity. I imagine you have many questions, right?
I've had enough of all this. I want you to transform Nuri back. How can you do that anyway?
I learned it in the astral currents in the Gorian Desert. Tell me when you're ready, and I'll fulfill your wish.
What's so special about the ruby?
It was sacred to my princess, and thus also to me. Moreover, it's the key to the mask. We may still need it.
The dreams aren't Sadja's memories. They're yours.
Quite right. That's why I couldn't show anyone what happened in Draconia. I lay there, all day long on a laboratory table, feeling sorry for myself.
What's going on with Sadja's story? Why do I keep dreaming about it?
There is a hole at the end of her story, and Fai is helping me fill it. Her tale has not yet ended, and I'm here to change that.
How have you lived so long?
Even in this shape, I'm still an indestructible magic staff. Time alone won't kill me. And I had a great deal of time in my life in which no one wanted to kill me. To say nothing of even knowing that I existed at all.
You petrified all the people.
Correct. Fahi and I have an agreement. He helps me solve the riddle, and I protect him from unfriendly rabble. That grey-haired mage, on the other hand, I petrified solely out of self-preservation. He stole my princess's ruby.
I'm ready.
All we lack is the bird.
Nuri, you're just in time. We did it.
What?
The staff. I mean, this man. He was the staff. Whatever. He will change you back into a fairy.
Why into a fairy? And who are you, anyway?
Oh, no.
It was nice meeting you. Farewell.
Nuri! Nuri! Come back!
Did you hear that?
There's somebody at the waterfall.
Garon, they heard you.
I'll take care of it.
No, don't. Please. Too many people have been petrified.
Do you want us all to die?
No, Nuri, do something, but don't spill any blood.
No blood, and no petrified attackers. Your wish is my command.
Not what we meant.
We're too late. Even more have been transformed.
There! The Tulamid is stuck in one of the pillars.
Oh, he's trying to hide.
Smash him!
I don't think so.
Brider?
Garon, can you hear me? You're safe now. Let me show you the final chapter in Saj's journey. It's important that you understand what happened back then. That you understand me. 2 days after the Flying Fortress had left Draconia, we finally reached the battlefield, or as the clerics preferred to call it, the vestibule of the Nether Hells.
Oh, so this is where they took you. I've been looking for you for days. Ah! Another hit. I better hurry. The impact made the armory lose some height. I can no longer reach the passage. No, it's totally blunt. Pretty much useless. I need something better. I could push it, but where? Why would I push the rack over there? Why would... It's firmly locked. I'll tie one end to the weapons rack. And I'll fasten the other end to the cabinet. It's behind thick glass. The gap is too wide to jump, and the wall is too high to climb. It's not intended to fit, but it works. One of the enemy's missiles hit here. I can't cut down the shield with this. I can't get the blade around the corner to cut through the loops. I can't cut down the shield with this. The mace is now longer than the longsword. I should forget trying to hit anything with this. I can't cut down the shield with... The weapons rack is now connected to the cabinet door. I can see the staff in there. By the gleam in his eyes, I can tell he's probably yelling his head off. It's just standing there. There's room for 4 weapons and a shield. The floating crystals hold the various parts of the fortress up in the air. One of the enemy's missiles weakened it. We're now hovering a bit lower than the bridge to the main fortress. That'll never work. I'd rather not. That won't lead to... I can't cut down the shield with this.
Well, shit, I've already forgotten how to do this.
I mustn't lose... I can't get the blade around the corner to cut through the loops. A strange construction, but perhaps I can use it to reach places that were inaccessible before. It's heavier than it looks. I can't swing the halberd well enough. A glass case with a sword. It looks very, very powerful. I'll take the thing apart first. I could push it, but where?
Charizard! At last! Where have you been?
There's no time to explain. We're in the middle of the war and Kasim is about to take over the fortress. The clerics are trying to keep him out of the flotation chamber. But who knows how long they'll be able to.
A flotation chamber, Princess?
It's the heart of the flying fortress. It keeps us all in the air. Kasim believes that if he alters one of the floating crystals the way the researcher changed my ruby, he can read all of the memories from the mask, and thus all the spells of the Djinn of Time.
A complicated plan for a simple-minded soul. But you'll stop him, won't you?
You can count on it. Awaken the floating crystal! Thanks.
You're welcome, Princess.
We're almost there.
You finally reached your goal, Mistress. The great battle against the demons.
Yes, but the worst of them is not a demon.
Looks like we've come too late. Looks like we've come too late.
Kasim did this. That swine.
Princess.
Ariakos, are you all right?
You've come too late. He has almost succeeded.
Do you still have my dagger?
It's hanging on my belt. We tried to bless it, but it was as if the gods refused to do it. As if they had turned their backs on you.
So it's come to this. Now even the gods punish me with their contempt. Then all that's left to me is my magic.
Princess?
What?
I'm afraid that the combined presence of the prince and the crystals makes it difficult for me to perform any sort of magic. You'll have to touch him if you want to enchant him.
First the gods and now this? Then that's how it'll have to be.
You can't, in all seriousness, intend to go into battle armed only with a dagger?
As if it had ever been any other way. He's still carrying his scepter. He's got nothing left except his belt. He's got a quill. Not a great substitute for a sword, but what choice do I have?
Ow! Who dares disturb me?
Who do you think?
Satya! You're alive!
You can't get rid of me that easily.
Oh, girl, leave me in peace. Ow! Who do you think you are? This ends now. Watch, Satya, as I subjugate this chamber to my will forever.
Princess, I have something else for you. You can't overcome him as long as he has that magic shield around him. Its power is fed by the main crystal and the 5 small floating crystals in the towers.
What if I switched off the crystals?
Then he'll become weaker, and his shield smaller. Take this key for the left floating tower. But hurry! He's becoming more powerful by the minute.
Thank you. It's a map of the towers. The goddess of healing, Perina, even she has abandoned me. Next to the stairs, there's a bracket for a torch. A suit of armor next to a goddess. This place is both a fortress and a temple.
You shouldn't get too close to them.
Next to the stairs, there's a bracket for a torch. It's a map of the towers. There's a suit of armor in every room. The goddess of honorable battle, Rondra. I wonder what became of the young Amazon. These arms connect him with the crystals. He gets his power from them. They're his greatest strength, but also his most vulnerable weak spot. First, they tunneled through the center of the room and then grew all over it, like a bridge. What happened?
I drained the stone's power. The tower must have sunk a bit in the process. Go outside and have a look.
Let's see what happens if I tie the crystal on here. The belt yanked the crystal off the pedestal. It'll stay down here now.
The tower is up again.
I can't get close enough. Kasim's arms are disgustingly agitated. I can't get there. Kasim's shield is protecting him.
If you extinguish the crystals in the towers, the shield will shrink as well. Perhaps you'll finally be able to get to him then.
First, they tunneled through the center of the room and then grew all over it, like a bridge.
The tower is down again. The tower is up again.
If that's what it takes.
They're not easily diverted from their prey.
Ah!
Princess, what's wrong?
He's in my head.
Has your past caught up to you?
Don't let him confuse you. It's only a game. A dark illusion to break you. None of it is real. Try to think about what you really see, and the deceit will vanish. It's only an illusion. Tell me what's really here.
Here is a torch bracket. Here is a suit of armor. Here is a statue. Here is a shield. In this place is nothing.
The tower is up again. The tower is down again. The arms sense the magic of the crystal in your pocket. Better not get too close to them.
I mustn't lose sight of my goal. They grow back together in an instant. That can't be cut.
Be gone!
Kazim's arms appear to be unfazed by the sacred relics. My spell only works on plants and small animals, Charizard. They only react to active crystals.
First, they tunneled through the center of the room, and then grew all over it, like a bridge.
The tower is down again.
Catch! That was that. I can't get there. Kasim's shield is protecting him.
If you extinguish the crystals in the towers, the shield will shrink as well. Perhaps you'll finally be able to get to him then. For that, you'd have to get very close to him. As long as the prince is connected with just one crystal, I can only influence things in my immediate vicinity.
Be gone!
Kazim's arms appear to be unfazed by the sacred relics.
I'd rather not. That'll never work. First they and then grew all. First they and then.
When you extinguished the crystal above, the tower came down a level. The exit is now closed off.
I better not get too close. I better not.
The shield protects him.
Better not. That puts an end to your little spectacle.
Ow!
Gotcha, asshole.
I suppose after all these years you've finally done it. You have defeated me.
Do you really think I spent the last 15 years thinking about nothing other than how to defeat you? You're even more vain than I thought.
I thought you wanted to outdo me.
I'm not here because of you. I'm here so my great deeds can go down in history.
What great deeds?
Don't even start.
As you wish. If words cannot injure you, take this. I thought I would let you win, but if that doesn't matter to you, then I might as well just destroy you. Struggle as much as you like, or rather, as much as you still can. You have won. You have defeated me. You've destroyed the greatest temple the world has ever seen. Death will now rain down on the troops. No one will survive to tell of your terrible deed. Soon, none of what you've done will count for anything. You must be proud of yourself, for you have won. You've defeated me. Only no one will remember.
You know, the demons were like, holy shit, these humans are crazy. They threw a fortress at us. Don't fuck with the humans, man. They'll drop a fortress on your ass.
He's here. Help! Huh? The shield. I must move it. I'm wounded. Please, help me. The bottle is empty. The bandage is all that I have.
Quick, take my hand.
And then, suddenly, everything was quiet. It was as though Satinav had played a prank and stopped time. An almost endless moment in which Sadja and the Adept just stared at each other. He didn't understand that his rescuing hand was more terrible to her than 1,000 demon tentacles could have ever been. The final admission of her ghastly failure. Suddenly, Satinav snapped his fingers again, and life continued. As he pulled her away, I heard her scream. "Leave me," she called. "Leave me. Take me back." And again, I can't leave him behind. Over and over, quieter and quieter, and ever farther away. It didn't take long, and they had disappeared. And that was that. I was right back where I started. Only one thing was different this time. This time, I was able to remember. Remember a princess who persevered in the face of the most impossible obstacles. It helped that the Gorian Desert is one of the most magical places known to this world. Several astral lines cross there, and I lay directly among them. I grew ever more powerful, and I practiced and practiced and practiced. After 400 years, I succeeded in refining my spell to the point where I finally found a way to permanently transform my body. I left the desert and set out for Draconia. I had to know what had happened to my princess after our separation. What happened to the only woman who was ever prepared to entrust her life to a shady, magical staff.
Sadia failed in the Gorian desert. She had the mask, and she knew the name of the Djinn of Time.
Brighter.
If the wearer of the
Brighter.
mask speaks the name of the Djinn of Time, he can retrieve things past. But
I
Sadia
now
didn't
know that they can
waken
see
the
me
Djinn.
and hear me, but it won't
Why
do them
not?
any good. Fahi! Fahi! I
She
wouldn't
was
be surprised if he
devastated.
just screams at me as well.
Garon? Garon, can you hear me? I think I've solved the riddle. It's a little complicated. There are so many little pieces. There's only one thing missing. And then we can finally complete the story. Then I'll ask the staff to change you back. I promise. Can you do me one more favor first? Sadia's ruby has a crack. You need to repair it. Can you do that for me? Please, Garon, repair the ruby. Thank you. And now let me try something. I pray to the gods that I'm not mistaken. Vedan fascadan, esplas de quatan, humurilor gras, ferrogoran, hil bemutir gerol falan, juntir quatan feluntir sodan. Garon? Are you still there? If so, then you should be able to cast the staff's first spell. Please give me a sign that it worked. I was right. Thank you. Thank you, Garon. Oh, you're probably wondering where you are. The staff created this place, a burial chamber of a mogul in the middle of the Andergastrian forest. Isn't that impressive?
Leave the mask and come to me.
He's here. I'll be right back.
Brighter! Brighter! And I get left behind again. Nuri! I'll try to send Nuri a vision. That's it! I'll send Nuri to the mountain, and then along the course of the brook, until she reaches the fire. I hope it works. Thank the gods. I'm starting to remember something. I know how I can transform myself back. All right, here we go. No, no, I'm too weak. The mask doesn't have enough power left to change me back. It was all for nothing. Oh, finally. Fi, is everything all right?
Oh, yes. My stiff old bones haven't felt this young in ages.
Thanks, Nuri.
Who are you?
That doesn't matter now. Will you promise to wait for me here?
All right.
I'll be right back.
Let me rest a moment. I'll follow you soon.
I'm basically at the end of the game now.
It's been 450 years since I, a talking staff with no memories, kindled the light in my prison and saw a strange woman who would change my life forever. Her story began in this chamber, and between these walls we will end it together. Marhaba, Geron. Welcome.
You were able to free yourself.
What does all this mean? Where are we?
Ask him.
Indeed. Ask me. You should know that I've waited a long time for this day, and would not like to wait much longer. But if you have a great many questions...
What's going to happen here?
So you still haven't figured out why I sent you my memories? Why you're here?
I am here because Fahi promised to change Nuri back into a fairy if I helped him with a little riddle. No one said anything about ensouled magic staves, flying fortresses, and strange dreams.
Life is full of surprises, isn't it?
Ha!
You laugh, but I wouldn't have believed that one day someone would rescue me from my dungeon, that I was to climb mountains without legs and wrestle without arms with demons. I would have laughed if someone had told me a princess will appear to you and, despite your strange form, show you the greatest wonders of the world. Oh, how I would have laughed!
Okay, but that doesn't explain why we're here.
You know that Sadia and I were separated. Our golden time together came to an end. When I finally found a way to leave the Gorian desert, centuries had passed. I wanted to know if Sadia had done it. If she had become the great heroine she always wanted to be. I wanted to hear how her name was whispered in the streets in awe. Sadia al-Kabir, Sadia the Great, the heroine who once... But no one had ever heard of her. So I continued and expanded my search. I wanted to know what happened to her after our separation. I followed her trail back to Draconia. I found the Adept's journal and the Djinn of Times' mask. But Sadia's real fate remained a mystery to me. Finally, I met Fahi and asked him to bring me here. A man named Ulrich had taken her ruby from Draconia and brought it to Andergast. He sought the mask in order to bring back his deceased wife, but he found only the gemstone.
Is all this really important?
Why did you need the ruby? Why the mask? Why all of this?
I wanted to bring together all the relics surrounding Sadia's disappearance and finally understand what happened to her. At least I would know what happened to her. She deserved that. There was only one problem. I'm terrible at riddles. That's why I needed experts to help me. Who could understand every detail, who could be prepared for today.
Prepared? To do what?
To be able to tell Sadia's tale to the end without making a mistake.
Does it matter how she died? She's dead. We can't change that.
You're wrong. You will determine what happened to her.
I don't understand.
The Garden of Oblivion, Geron. I read the journal to the end. After her return, Sadia went into the Garden of Oblivion and never came out again. Nothing that happens in the garden has actually happened until someone talks about it. Outside the garden.
And since Sadia has been forgotten since that day, her fate has never been told, and thus never completed.
So we can choose how she died, basically.
I never did understand the garden.
Geron, the events in the garden have no effect on the outside world, as though they never happened. Only once someone convincingly tells of those events do they become true.
But if it turns out that they lied, or were mistaken,
then Satanav's invisible hand punishes them for their sacrilege.
That's why we mustn't make a mistake. I think I've explained enough about our wondrous meeting.
Are you ready, Geron?
Just a moment. At the waterfall, you promised to change Nuri back to her old form.
And I will, but first, we must complete Sadia's story.
What about the inscription on the burial chamber?
You mean the stone and the scarab? Fahi believes that the inscription is the key to everything. But as apt as his intuition may be, in this case he's mistaken. The riddle is apparently only a strange jotting on the margins, a random blemish on an otherwise monumental painting. There's nothing else to say about it. Satya was taken to the burial chamber to read trivial inscriptions, and, as proud as she was, she refused, that's all.
What's Fahi's role in all this?
Fahi is a man of many talents. He has a feeling for tales, and he's good at solving riddles. In addition, he had a wagon and a tent in which I could hide on my long journey. He is helping me solve the riddle, and in return, I protect his business from looters. That is our agreement.
So he's actually harmless.
Fahi is the most harmless man I've ever met in my 3,000 years. I was sorry to petrify him, but it was the only way to save him from your fellow citizens.
Why are you here, Brider? Sadia's story doesn't have anything to do with you.
Geron, there's nothing left for me here. I'm a deserter. My own comrades are hunting me. This is my only refuge. Please, even if you still don't understand, let me bring it to an end.
I'm sure everything will be fine again.
The world will never be as fine as it once was.
Yeah, she seems to be stuck on the past.
What if one of us ends Sadia's story and is wrong?
If Satinav learns that the tale we tell can't possibly be true, then he'll make it unhappen and declare the teller guilty of sacrilege.
Don't worry, Geron. We won't make a mistake. I've thought everything through very carefully.
All right.
Then put the mask on the bust of my old master and let us begin. Thank you, Geron. Are you ready now?
Yes.
Let's get this over with.
Thank you, Geron.
Which of you will now step forward and tell the story to its end?
I'll do it.
Very well. I'll now tell you of Sajja's passage into the garden. As it is written in the Adept's journal, listen closely. At the end, you must tell me how the story ends. After her return from the battlefield, Sajja was only a shadow of herself. She had seen the horrors of the Nether Hells, an ocean of destruction and death. She was the only survivor, but the rest of the world did not care. Sajja's great dream had failed. She wandered the halls of Draconia like a ghost. She didn't eat, and she only slept when exhaustion forced her to. On the 4th day, a young adept saw her at the threshold to the portal. He asked her where she was going. It was cold in the mountains, and she could have become lost, whereupon she answered,
I'm going to the garden, to break my being.
The boy immediately ran to the air adept, but help arrived too late. When they entered the garden, all that they found was the mask and Sajja's ruby next to it. There was no sign of her. Out of fear of challenging Satinav, it was decided that they would forget the incident. No one was allowed to speculate about what had happened on that day. The mask and the ruby were taken to Draconia. The garden was sealed, and Sajja's fate was forgotten. Until today. It's now up to you, Geron, to finish her story. But remember, one mistake, and the consequences will be terrible.
I know. Sadia entered the garden. She sat on the ground. She took out the mask. She looked into the mask and
she read the magic spell, memorized it, put on the mask, and destroyed her memory.
Why did you interrupt me?
I was afraid you would say the wrong thing. Then she disappeared into the depths of the garden like a soulless waif and was never seen again.
That's sad.
It is done. I had always hoped it would be otherwise. But I was mistaken.
Are you crying?
Of course I'm crying. My princess just died.
Oh, well, I guess that's it then. That was the end just now, wasn't it?
Yes.
No. Since Sadia used the mask, her memories are now in the mask, and thus the true name of the Djinn of Time.
What are you doing?
Fadan feskadan esplas de quatan, humuril orgras ferel goran, hil bemotir kerul falan, juntir katan filontir sodan. Nijetime ta for imano iruti veda.
Ah, I've been awakened.
The Djinn of Time.
Tell me, child, what is your wish?
I'm sorry, Garon, but there's nothing left for me in this time. As if there had ever been anything for me here. There are no heroic princesses, no ancient tombs, no flying fortresses. Only endless honor guards, latrine duty, one triviality after another. When was the golden age lost? When princesses still dreamed of battles and the world was filled with magic. I wish it was all as it used to be.
Your wish is my command.
Bryda.
The girl is now gone. Her longing now rules over her existence. It is my task to fulfill that longing. To extinguish the grey present and bring the past to life again.
Oh no. The forest is starting to change. What did she do?
Garon, come quickly. Garon, I've been thinking.
That's nice, but it won't help us any. Bryda told Sadia's story to the end. She had Sadia put on the mask and draw out all her memories in the Garden of Oblivion, so that everything has now happened exactly like that. And she read out Sadia's memories with the ruby. I mean, Bryda did that. And now she's possessed by the Djinn of Time. And...
Calm yourself, Garon.
I'm supposed to calm down? We have to do something!
You're right. And we can only do something if we prove that Bryda was wrong. That Sadia did not put on the mask. You forget that there's still a part of the riddle we have not solved.
The scarab? As if a pointless riddle could save us all.
Do you have a better idea? Look around. We're in a copy of the burial chamber. Perhaps you'll find the crucial clue somewhere. Bring it to me, and perhaps we can solve the riddle once and for all.
The Djinn of Time must have torn it off the mask. All I found was the ruby.
Give it to me. Giacomo Nauta told me you were an amateur mage. Is that true?
Yeah, I can break things.
Well, I can also do a bit of magic. If I hold something in my hand, I can catch a glimpse of its past. That was the main reason the staff chose me as his companion, you see. Now, let's see what story this stone tells. Curious. When the ruby was found after Sadia's disappearance in the garden, it had a crack, and the reversal spell the Ore Adept had woven into it had vanished utterly. The mages had to reapply it completely. But there's more. I see a palace garden, and in it, 2 children.
This is a brooch from Mengbilla. My father gave it to me.
Oh, can I see?
There. And here, a ruby from the dwarf tunnels in the brazen sword.
It's so beautiful.
When I'm Caliph, I'll have all the treasures in Avestan gathered in my palace. Fazar will be more radiant than in the times of the great Moguls. My subjects will lie at my feet for all eternity.
You'll be a good ruler, Kasim. All the history books will tell of you.
Ha! Do you see the sign on my arm? It's the calligraphy of my sovereignty, the sign of my dynasty. The whole world will bow before this symbol. There are great times ahead of us, Sadja. Truly great times.
I see a prince and a princess playing together. He's trying to impress her. What could this mean?
Sadia and the prince were once friends.
Wait. There's more. Something's happening. A palace guard arrives.
Let me go! You're so pathetic. Isn't that how you like to be treated? Like the dog that you are.
At least I have my own teeth.
You please me, Sadja, more than I had hoped.
The prince is tormenting the princess. The guard holds her tight. She's at his mercy, but why?
Maybe there was no reason, and she was punished unjustly.
They finally let her go. She remains alone in the courtyard.
Really? What are you doing? Are you tattooing yourself?
I'm writing my own dynasty.
Do you even know what the word means? Dynasty? You can't simply write greatness into your blood. You're either born with it or not.
I'll prove it to you.
Do you think you could ever be greater than I? You're amusing. Guards! Throw her back into the gutter where you found her. I'm done having my fun with her. Then fetch me a new girl.
Sadia wasn't a princess at all. She was only a poor girl from the streets.
So what?
I don't know, but...
What's so funny?
Don't you understand? The solution to the riddle. Sadia's words outside the burial chamber. It was so obvious all along.
Oh.
We were fooling ourselves. Now, go into the burial chamber and tell it to the Jinn. Then everything will be all right again.
It's time to show how Bryda was wrong.
Bryda, or whoever you are, come out.
Why do you obstruct her wish? She's unhappy. She wishes to be back in a time where everything was still good. You, of all people, should understand that. But it no longer matters what you think. The ritual is almost complete. A new ancient kingdom will grow from the oak wood.
Not if I can prove that Bryda was wrong. And she was indeed wrong.
Sadia went into the garden, she took the mask, and she spoke the incantation. So did it happen, and so shall it remain.
It will. Listen, let me start at the beginning. Sadia entered the garden, she sat down and pulled out the mask. She looked into the mask.
And she despaired.
And despaired in herself and her inability.
Why should she despair? She had my promise of blessed oblivion. All she had to do was read the incantation.
No. I'm sorry, Bryder, but Sadia wasn't as brilliant as you think. She felt persecuted and restless. She wanted to forget her own past and become someone else. She wasn't a princess, just a poor girl from the streets. And as such, she couldn't even read.
No.
Forgive me, Bryder.
That's that then. The riddle is finally solved. Why such a long face, Charon?
Yes, my friend? What plagues you so?
Nothing. Why are you so happy anyway? Sadia's fate proved to be false. You don't know any more now than you did before.
Very true. Very true. But perhaps not.
Oh, forget it. I'm sick of riddles.
Yes. Leave the dear boy in peace, Aleph. Fulfill his wish, and let's move on.
Yes, traveling is nice. I want to go to the sea.
Wait just a moment.
It's up to you, my friend. Do you want me to change her back? But I can only restore her body, not her memories.
So basically you have two endings, and I don't know if it's going to let me save, but I'm going to try to save. Save! We'll see. Alright, cool. So, I'm going to choose to change her back into a fairy because that's what she was born as, that's what she lived as. This whole raven thing is temporary. We're going to fix it.
I fought so hard for it. I want everything to be the way it was.
So be it. It is done.
Nuri? Nuri, can you hear me?
Hmm? What's going on? Who are you?
My name is Charon. How do you feel?
Strange. I'm cold. What happened?
Come to the fire and rest. Then I'll tell you everything. Who you are, where you come from, and what wonderful adventures the two of us have had.
Adventures?
It all began last autumn. Crows had attacked the royal palace, and King Everden asked me to come up with a way to stop the plague. My search led me to a strange cave near a waterfall.
And thus ends the tale. Did you know that it would come to this? Oh, how can I know what you planned, and what was mere fortune? Until today, I would have sworn that the mask destroyed you. But that can't be. We know that now. Now, just so I don't make a mistake, there are only two possibilities as to what could have happened to you back then. The first, the more likely, has now proven to be false, which leaves only the second. I mustn't make a mistake. Here we go. When Sadia entered the garden, she had the mask with her, but no ruby. Yet, when the mask was found, there was a ruby beside it. Now, it may be that it was Sadia's ruby that was thrown into the garden earlier by the prince. But what if it was another? Oh dear. Oh dear. There's no going back now. Satinav! I say that there was not one, but two rubies. The real one was lost. The fake was taken from the garden by the mages and is now here in my hand. Sadia couldn't read, but with my mask she could do magic. She could turn plants to stone. She could turn people to stone. What is a ruby, if not just another stone? There. And now to you, my dear. You descended into the deepest tombs, and you climbed the highest mountains. You danced with wind spirits and wrestled with demons. Abandoned by the gods, forgotten by time. Charizard, your time has finally come.
I love that ending. Alright, I'm gonna skip the credits and I'm gonna play the alternate ending if I can. The one where you leave Nuri as a raven. Even though I would never do that.
Leave her. Her new life as a raven seems to make her happy.
So be it.
And thus our time together is at an end.
Can I leave now too? I want to fly over the ocean.
Don't leave just yet. It's hard for me, but if you want to leave, then you can.
You still haven't told me who you are.
My name is Geron.
Hello, Geron. I am the raven Nuri Dalinella Vanda, but you can call me Nuri.
Even if you've forgotten a lot, if you ever get tired of your travels, you'll always find a home with me.
That's nice. It is lovely to meet you, Geron.
Likewise. Farewell, Nuri.
See you later.
Yeah, I would never let her stay as a fucking bird. Now we get to enjoy the real ending one more time, and then I'll let the credits play. I guess that'll be the end of the stream.
Ends the tale. Did you know that it would come to this? Oh, how can I know what you planned, and what was mere fortune? Until today, I would have sworn that the mask destroyed you. But that can't be. We know that now. Now, just so I don't make a mistake, there are only two possibilities as to what could have happened to you back then. The first, the more likely, has now proven to be false, which leaves only the second. I mustn't make a mistake. Here we go. When Sadja entered the garden, she had the mask with her, but no ruby. Yet, when the mask was found, there was a ruby beside it. Now, It may be that it was Sage's ruby that was thrown into the garden earlier by the prince. But what if it was another? Oh dear. Oh dear. There's no going back now. Satinav! I say that there was not one, but 2 rubies. The real one was lost. The fake was taken from the garden by the mages and is now here in my hand. Saja couldn't read, but with my mask she could do magic. She could turn plants to stone. She could turn people to stone. What is a ruby, if not just another stone? There. And now to you, my dear. You descended into the deepest tombs, and you climbed the highest mountains. You danced with wind spirits and wrestled with demons. Abandoned by the gods, forgotten by time. Shahrazad, your time has finally come.
Alright, that was it for this game. I gotta make sure I organize my YouTube playlist to have all the Memoria videos together. Other than that, I'm gonna end the stream, and if I stream again tonight, which I don't know if I will, but if I do, it'll probably be programming stuff. So, have a good night. Thanks for watching.